Okay, here we Hi, good morning. I'm Key Browning. I'm a mind, body, spirit life coach and the author of Zenergy. And today we're going to be going over the book and we'll be talking about the body section. And I wanted to talk to you and let you know that Dr. Kenneth Cooper has sent me a personal letter about my book, and he thanked me for it and complimented me on it. As you know, I'm a certified strength trainer and a fitness over 50 specialist through the Cooper Aerobics Center. And I've done a lot of training, and I worked with Dr. Cooper for quite some time as a Cooper All-Star. And the letter was just fabulous and just wonderful to hear all the things that he's doing at 90. I mean, if you saw him and you talked to him, all of us would need pen and paper to keep up with him. He's just amazing. But he has something that he calls steps to get Cooperized. And it was really fun to see that. And so a lot of you here in the room are already doing these things like maintaining a healthy weight and making healthy food choices. And just those couple of things make a big difference. Exercising a little bit each day. A lot of you join me for chair yoga on Tuesdays at 10. But even just a walk around the block or walking your dog, or as Dr. Cooper says, walk your dog, even if you don't have a dog. But taking the right supplements and making sure that you're eating properly and doing the right things for your body can make a big difference. And as many of you probably know, that the statistics in America show that most people will die in their 70s. It's about 76 for men and 78 for women in America, which is higher than the global average. But with Dr. Cooper's work, so I'm going to be going off of this worksheet here that he sent me. This is the longitudinal study that Dr. Cooper did from 1970 to 2015. And I worked with him during that time in the 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 period, somewhere in there, for about 6 years. And with the people that actually are doing the things that most of you are doing, women can expect to live to about 90 and men can expect to live to about 86 and a half. So just by doing the things that you're doing, you will get more life. And that's a big deal, of course, when you're in your 70s, or some of you are in your 80s. That's nice to know that you generally can live quite a long time now, just by doing these simple things that you're already doing. So just wanted to let you know that. I thought it was just such a wonderful letter, and this nice big package that Dr. Cooper sent me, and an article, what he has recently published. So just a lot of fun. And today I want to talk a little bit more about integrative and natural therapies, just a springboard from this letter from him. This is on page 164. Integrative and natural therapies are things that you may already be doing, but maybe you just don't call it that. Meditation and yoga, hypnotherapy, chiropractic care, massage therapy, all of these are considered natural therapies. And of course, it's good to have allopathic medicine and have antibiotics and have different types of pharmaceutical drugs to help you stay well when you need them. But when you take pharmaceutical drugs over and over consistently, it changes the flora in your body. It changes the way you digest and process foods. And Dr. Chopra talks about the microbiome, or your biological energy down here. And so all of the flora, the bacteria, the viruses, all the germs, everything that's growing in this little cave that we have called intestines, it is alive, right? These cells, they're living beings. So of course the question is, are we living in its home, or is it living in our home or their home, or however you say that? But we're living with a whole entity, a whole colony or community. And it's good to know that your stress impacts this community. the things that you're thinking and feeling, the stress that you're having, all of that is impacted, or it's impacting this community. And so when we can do natural methods first, like whatever that is, whether it's essential oils or yoga or meditation or a hot Epsom salt soak, or maybe you gargle with some essential oils or even hot lemon water or honey. I mean, there's all kinds of natural things that I know many of you are already doing. Um, we want to start with that and make that a daily practice. So then whenever we're, a little low from a variety of reasons, then we can, then if you need medication, then you take the medication. So it's a complement to medication, or we don't just jump off the deep end and go for medication from the beginning. And, oh, I feel a little under the weather, take a little antibiotic. No, because that changes the flora. It changes. So it's an antibiotic. Well, you are biological, right? You have your natural rhythm. So an antibiotic is moving against that, against the pathogen. Homeopathics, homeostasis is the natural balance of your body. Homeopathic is working with the pathogen to move the pathogen out. So you increase the immune system, restore homeostasis, so the pathogen doesn't have all of this imbalance to play with, which is what happens when we have a pathogen, a virus, or a germ that's out of control. I mean, we have viruses in our bodies that are dormant. So, shingles, herpes. I mean, there's all kinds of viruses that we have that are just dormant. They sit in there and maybe they pop up, once a year or every 10 years or never, hopefully never. But, these things happen and they're in the body. And so we just want them to stay dormant. And they stay dormant when you are eating properly and you're maintaining a natural health and maintaining your homeostasis, maintaining that balance. And, when we start getting more antibiotics or things moving against the pathogens, and you already have them, they're already living in you. Now you're actually weakening your system. Some people, and I know we have to take them sometimes. Several of my clients had Lyme's disease, and you have to take antibiotics for a long time to get over that. And they weren't even testing for a while. But of course, when you're taking antibiotics for a long time, then yeast infections and other things are a big concern. So back to getting that flora balanced out. So I just wanted to encourage you to be mindful of antibiotics and medication in general. What effects are you having? Are they side effects? Like what are you feeling now? And if you have an imbalance, is that because of the side effect of some medication that you're on? So just looking at things and being more aware of how your body feels is really important. And of course, our psychology makes such a big difference. So here on page 165, I talk about the adverse childhood experience study. Now, this was done in 1999. So this is an ongoing study that has a longitudinal statistics with it to show that people that had an abusive childhood, that they were more prone to illnesses and disease, physical abuse, emotional abuse, substance abuse, parental divorce, mental illness, incarceration of a relative. These kind of things impact your psychology and how you look at the world. And then, of course, any kind of substance abuse is going to impact your physical form. But a lot of people are very sensitive. And so they might not have had like physical abuse, say, but they felt that abuse, like emotional abuse, or even just seeing all the stuff that's going on in the schools and on TV and all that stuff can be perceived, for a sensitive person, could also make someone depressed or anxious, or, distancing from society, getting away just from what they're watching on TV or Facebook. So keeping that in mind, if your kids are, they're expressing some of this concern, even though you gave them a good upbringing and a good family as much as you could, also sensitive people are impacted. And so the way you look at the world, of course, is your perception, and your perception is your reality. So, my reality is a little different from yours because my perception is a little different. And as a life coach, and when I'm counseling and doing therapy with people, I'm helping them with all kinds of problems. So I might not perceive it as a problem like you would, even for whether the problem was yourself or if it was you as the counselor helping someone. I've been working in this environment for a long time, so I'm able to like shift perception, and I have a lot of years of training at shifting my perspective to help someone else shift theirs. And so keeping that in mind, that if you perceived abuse in your childhood, then you're accurate, whether that was true or not. And then your body will reflect that. We talked about this a little bit before, with the way that you're thinking, the way that you're feeling, the body is listening to that. So if you have a certain part of your body that you don't like, like what back there, or, over here, I don't like this thing, or, whatever, your body, every time you look in the mirror, you say something about that part of your body, and it's listening. Your body is alive, it's listening. So that's why the more that you can do the positive affirmations, I'm lovable, I'm loving, something positive. I love and approve of myself. I'm, God loves me. I'm, safe and sacred in God's world. There's just this regular mantra. That's the way you talk to yourself. And then when you get to the mirror and you go, God, all those wrinkles, then when you're not looking in the mirror, you're saying these affirmations. So, part of it is balancing this communication with yourself, but your body is listening. And so then when we have diseases or injuries or illnesses, it's showing up partly because of the mind. So mind, body, spirit, what's happening to us is not just random. It's happening to you to help you to grow in some specific way and to become more mindful of what you're thinking and how your body is responding. So let's say, for instance, like the knees and the legs, they're all about moving forward, right? They're about walking, independence, activity, moving. And so if you have hip injury, hip replacement, knee, there's something about like, you don't want to move forward, right? You can't get going. So, and then the leg is responding to that. The knee is responding, so part of it is looking at your environment. When did the injury start? What was going on in your life? Oh, I don't know. I just had a car wreck and it's all the car wreck's fault. Okay, well, let's get into that. What else was happening? Well, I did lose my job and I got divorced and then I had a car wreck. Okay, well, let's look at, like, there's a lot of stuff going on there. So what was going on when an injury illness started? And Louise Hay, I quote her in the book a couple of times. So this is an old book, I think from the 90s, but I like this book because she actually identifies emotional disturbances or side effects or symptoms that we might have, and correlates them. And so if we can, and this is just a probable cause. I mean, it's not the end all be all for every single person on the planet, but it's a nice starting point. Let me just see, does that apply to me? Well, not that, but maybe this part. So I'm going to go over this a little bit more to give you some ideas on maybe any injuries or illnesses that you might have, and what other emotional disturbance or mental disturbance you might have that is causing or aggravating the issue. But once we can see what we're thinking, once we know our perception, then we can shift it, right? We can come in from these other angles, but like, this is the right way. And I'm feeling horrible, but this is the right way to think. And this is the only way to think. And it's like, and you're feeling horrible thinking that way. So squeegee your third eye. Let's try to think a different way. Let's come up with some other ideas that could also be possible, because on a planet with 7 billion people, clearly there's other perceptions, other perspectives, and your perspective is your reality. So the more that you can identify what the concern is, and then start in on, well, I'm going to try not to say those negative things to myself. I mean, we live in a negative planet, right? I mean, there's so much hostility and negativity around us, and we're encouraged through TV and, just our leaders, we're encouraged to kind of place blame. Someone else did it to me, be a victim. I mean, you can't control what's going on out there. You can control what's in your mind. So by placing blame, then you're off the hook, meaning you're stuck with whatever that problem is, because you're waiting for that person to change. So they're not going to change because they're just living their life. And so the more that we can identify that, can make a big difference. So I just want to go over a couple of things. Louise Hay has this great setup where it's the problem and the probable cause, and then the new thought pattern. So the affirmation or the new way to talk to yourself. So abdominal cramps, since we're starting with that one, I keep referring to the abdomen and the microbiome. Abdominal cramps, the probable cause for that could be fear or stopping the process, like afraid of what's happening, stopping the process, and not wanting to digest life or digest new ideas or digest that fried chicken that you ate or whatever. It's like, there's too much going on in there. So there's the resistance, stopping the process. And of course, when food sits in your body, it's putrefying. So you want to get that stuff out, to make sure you go to the bathroom every day. If that means you need to take a laxative, you go to the bathroom every day. Don't wait and try to do that naturally. If it's not happening, get a laxative. So then what Louise Hay recommends is that you would assert, then if that's an issue for you, you would say, I trust the process of life. I'm safe. And so that would be that would be your affirmation through the day. And I know that if we are feeling fearful, and many are right now, and if you are feeling anxious and afraid of what's happening, just saying, I'm safe, I trust the process of life, even if you don't believe it, you're saying something to yourself like, holy cow, what's happening? You're doing all these things. So part of it is just, okay, you hear those thoughts in your head and you go, okay, I trust the process of life. I'm safe. I'm safe. Even if you don't believe it at the beginning, the more you say it, the more you will believe it, because a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. A belief in anything is a thought you keep thinking. So you've had thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of thoughts on certain things, let's say like the Christ consciousness or something else that you totally believe. And that's just a thought you keep thinking. You just keep thinking that thought. So if you don't think you're good enough or you don't feel safe, that's just a thought you keep thinking. And we made it this far. So surely God's still helping us out here. So I want to go over these things like aches. Okay, everyone's got aches and pains. So the probable cause for that would be longing for love or longing to be held. So there's aches in the body, and then there'd be like an emotional desire to be held or comforted the way a parent can do. And so the new thought pattern is, I love and approve of myself. I am loving, I am lovable. And so these are positive ways just to shift that. If you have an ache, then that's your body talking to you. Oh, I'm lovable. My elbow's lovable. Everything's fine. Now, if you just fell and jammed your elbow down, go to the doctor. Okay. So I'm not saying, you're just going to jam your elbow and say, I feel fine. I'm not suggesting that. I'm saying mind, body, spirit, what's happening, if you have a physical problem, fix that, but you also need to fix the mental, emotional problem as well. So there's just so many different things in here that Alzheimer's disease, this is a common one now, a desire, and the probable cause is a desire to leave the planet the inability to face life as it is. Can you blame them? I mean, gosh, it's just so difficult, So, but anyway, if you're concerned about that, of taking some, positive memory supplements like ginkgo biloba, and I'm thinking of another one. SAMe is another one that's really good. I'll think of another one that's helpful for the brain. And so the new pattern thought for anyone who has Alzheimer's or doesn't want to get Alzheimer's, everything happens in the right time, space, sequence. Divine right action is taking place at all times. And so that again goes back to faith and trust and the belief in the mystical and the magical, that there's something greater than you and I here running the show. I mean, there's something keeping the sun over there and the earth here. I call that God. I call it creative life force, infinite being. So, that you're affirming that through the day, that I'm safe. We're back to that simple statement. I'm safe. And I mentioned, well, I'll just go here. We're going to go to back problems because again, this is a big deal for a lot of people. Back in general. And when you hear it, you're going to recognize it. It represents the support of life. It represents your strength and your support in life. So whether you're supporting yourself or you feel supported by other people. So when the back is achy, just kind of check in and feel, check in. Do you feel supported right now? Because you might have felt supported yesterday, but then today something happened and you don't feel that supported. And, oh my God, my back hurts, well, right then, you don't wait. Right then you sit, okay, well, what, because it didn't hurt yesterday. Why is it hurting today? What's going on? And just by doing this little personal investigation of your own body, communicating with it, it's alive, it's listening to your thoughts. So, checking in, well, you have a little, 10 minutes with yourself just to talk and listen and what's happening to my body. Upper back talks about a lack of emotional support, feeling unloved or holding back love, right? If you think about the heart and the rounding of the shoulders, lack of emotional support, the weight of the weight of the world on the shoulders, that kind of thing, feeling unloved or, burdensome. Middle of the back is guilt, stuck in all that stuff back there. Get off my back. If you got people just sucking the life force out of you, you might have that. Lower back is fear of money or lack of financial support. And some of these are correlated with the chakras, but that's another seminar that we'll have another day. So, but just thinking about that. So finances, and I had this situation happen with me, and I was standing with a doctor I was dating at the time, a chiropractor, and I was on the phone, and then I had some car repairs, and they told me it was going to be like $1,000 or something. I didn't have the money. And I mean, like instantly I was on the phone. I just hung up and man, my low back went out. And I was like, oh, and of course, blaming it, I don't know why it hurts. And he knew, and he's watching. He's like, well, you just got news that you need $1,000 and your low back starts hurting. And it was like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then I just processed that notion. And how am I going to come up with the money? And then, okay, well, I can do this. And then, okay, I can do that. And I can charge a little bit here and pay that off. And okay, I can get the money together in about 6 weeks or so, 2 months or something like that. So then I started, and all of that just went away. It came on suddenly. And then I thought it through and then it just disappeared. And so if we can catch injury, illness, and disease early on and start thinking about why it might be there, what are you intending or what are you afraid of? You can stop some of these, some of the pains from getting worse. There's just so much like, okay, so I'm sorry, let me finish here. So the new thought for your back is, I know that life always supports me. I know that God is supporting me. I know life supports me. I'm fine, even though I don't know where I'm going to get $1,000. I know life supports me. I know life supports me. I'm supported. Even though you don't see it, You don't know where your support's coming from. You just affirm that, because a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. And if you believe that you're supported in life, you're going to feel more joyful. You're going to feel freed up. You're going to have more faith. You're going to have, okay, I can handle it. I don't know well, it's all coming at me right now, but I can handle it. And that those positive thoughts, thinking and saying those to yourself, are very important. I don't, I wanted to just mention a few more. I don't know if you want to just turn on your mic and say if you had an injury or something or an illness that you wanted me to look up. I'm happy to do that. Here's one, just because these are common. So belching is fear or gulping life too quickly, right? Gulping it in. So, and then the answer, the new thought is, there is time and space for everything I need to do. I am at peace. I'm at peace. Settle down, tummy. Slow down as you're gorging, slow down. And I'm at peace. I'm at peace, just letting that body relax a little bit more. Bladder problems, anxiety, holding on to old ideas, fear of letting go, being pissed off. I mean, is that pretty accurate? Bladder problems, being pissed off. So blood pressure, high blood pressure, long-standing emotional problems not solved, low blood pressure, lack of love as a child, defeatism. What's the use? It won't work anyway. So the affirmation for blood pressure is, I joyously release the past. I am at peace. So again, these positive statements that you just say to yourself anytime, all the time. For the low blood pressure, which probably isn't an issue here, I now choose to live in the ever joyous now. My life is a joy. So she's got all kinds of suggestions here: dizziness, earaches, emphysema, eyes, eye problems, cataracts, gas pain. You can see I've used the book so much it's falling apart right now. I need a new one. Gum problems, halitosis, heartburn, insanity. So jaundice, jaw problems, menstrual problems, motion sickness, mucus in the colon, all of this, pain. So pain in general. So that again seems to be pretty common. Pain in general could mean, again, this is a probable cause. It's not the end all be all for everybody, but it's about guilt or guilt-seeking punishment. So maybe you feel guilty, or maybe you're trying to give someone else a guilt trip, right? So it could be either way. And then the positive statement is, I lovingly release the past. They are free and I am free. All is well in my heart now. And it's just so lovely to have these positive things that you can refer to. So if something happens, any problem that you might have, she's got a book that's just that dictionary part, and it makes it, it's just nice. You just look at it real quick and see what you think. And it does that relate to you? No, that doesn't relate. Okay, that's fine. There's other books, there's other perceptions, other possibilities. But if it does relate, then okay, now I've got something to think. Oh, I feel guilty. Well, kind of. Okay, well, let me let that go. Maybe you need to make amends or correct something with somebody in your life, or just yourself, just talking better to yourself. I'm trying to find knees here. So let me see. And I'm trying, I want to, because I mentioned legs and knees earlier. So knees represent pride and ego. And the affirmation is, I'm flexible and flowing, right? I'm flowing through life. I'm walking through life. If you have problems with your knees, stubborn ego and pride, again, inability to bend, fear, inflexibility, and not just physically, but inflexibility for others in your family or your community, won't give in, and some of that, is it's just, I won't give in because it's not a good thing to give in. So it's not like you're supposed to give in. Maybe your knee is saying, get out of there. You don't belong over there. You belong over here. So that you're listening in that sense. And then the positive affirmation for knees is, I'm flexible and flowing, forgiveness, understanding, compassion. I bend and flow with ease. All is well. I mean, these are just lovely things to say to yourself. All is well. All is well. Life is good. I'm loved by the infinite creator, something like that. Instead of, God damn it, what the hell's going on around here? I mean, you'd be saying anything. So all is safe. And you're going to say those things too. So then you catch yourself, and maybe you don't catch yourself for 3 days, but as soon as you catch yourself, hopefully it's just 3 minutes, then you can say, okay, let me switch how I'm thinking, because otherwise you're just, a victim. You're just at the mercy of all of this stuff happening. Legs carry us forward in life, leg problems, upper leg problems, holding on to old childhood traumas and drama, lower leg problems or fear of the future, not wanting to move, not wanting to go forward. And I just like to mention these things to you because it'll show up. Now that we've had this conversation, you can think about it a little bit more. When I was in a yoga class, this was a few years back now, but I've had this happen several times, but it was so obvious. And when you're in the middle of a room of people and you're teaching, and you're doing a balancing posture and you're not able to keep your balance, even though I've been doing it for 20 years, it's odd. And so then I was like, oh, okay, I'm not balanced. Okay, well, okay. So we go to the other side. I was fine, no problem. I could balance. And then we do it twice sometimes. And so I go back over there and I could see that I'm imbalanced. And then I was like, well, what does that mean? It was like, right then I got the information that I needed to write a letter to a colleague and correct something that had happened between us. And it was like, oh, okay, I need to do that. And as soon as I made that decision, I got balanced. I'm telling you, immediately, as soon as I understood, now, can you do that in the middle of a class while you're trying to balance on one leg? Probably not, but at the beginning you can't, but as time goes on, you'd be able to. Some of you've already been studying these things. You're a quick study as it is. And so this all might make total sense to you. You just needed to hear it again or hear it just to understand what's going on. The physical form, it does have, a mind and a life of its own. One time I almost choked and died from eating. I used to eat a handful of vitamins and I just threw them down and they'd all just go down. But this day they didn't. And I don't do that anymore. But I got over that. And when I coughed up that last vitamin, I went over and stepped on it. There you go. Okay, who's in charge now? So then, but there was this time now, years later, when so I just took one vitamin and I'm about to drink, and I could feel my throat it was like this, like I could tell that it was going to resist that. So I took the pill out and I drank the water and I still had the constriction, even though it was just water. There was a fear, uncertainty with the supplements, or that trauma came back up. And so literally, but, part of it is listening to your body. My body knows that it's not supposed to die yet. My body knows that it's supposed to take care of itself. Even if my brain says, throw down, 5 vitamins at one time, it knows to resist that. And that infinite wisdom, innate wisdom, is flowing from the brain and down the spine. And then of course in the heart, and the heart, gut, these also are alive. They're giving us information. The heart knows, physically knows, before the rest of the body knows. And there's a lot of studies on that with HeartMath. And they showed, so the HeartMath Institute, and they showed in this study the subjects were looking at photos. And they would just be random. They'd come in, some were, sweet and fun, and little puppies in a basket in a park and a beautiful sunset. So those were the good photos. And then the grotesque photos, or the ugly photos, were, death scenes and, horror flick stuff and, stuff, you don't want to see, or less. I mean, and what they found in this experiment was that 3 seconds before The randomized pictures would come in 3 seconds before. The heart already knew what was going to happen. And so then it's going to happen. And then the heart, it jumps or whatever, oh, okay, it's a sunset. That's nice. Oh, it's bloody scene. Okay, all of that, the heart knew in advance. So again, there's this wisdom. We think our consciousness is in our cranium, and it's not. Your body is in your soul. Your soul is not in your cranium, right? So your soul is all around you, and the heart is active, the gut's listening. And so it knew what was going to happen with these photos and what to expect. And so they put these towers, HeartMath Institute has put these towers up to measure the pulse of the planet, of the people on the planet and what's going on. And we knew before 9/11. So there was a drop, like we knew it. And then the pulse came back. So with the HeartMath Institute, and they're located in California. And of course, these towers are all around the world. So they've got an international community, and they can tell when some bad stuff is on its way and when good stuff is on its way. So the body, the heart-mind connection, it does know, and it wants to take care of you, and it wants to do the right thing, and be safe. And so it's good to keep that in mind, that there's this beautiful wisdom in your body. So if you could just sit, so sometimes this is for beginners, for beginning meditators, because they sit and they go, I can't quiet my mind. I'm just too busy. I just got so much going on. Okay, that's fine. You got so much going on, but have so much going on just for you for 10 minutes. So much going on. Okay, how does my brain feel? How do my ears feel? So much going on. Just focus on you. What's going on with your eyes? Relax your eyes. What's going on with your mouth? Okay, I've got this neck tension. Okay, well, what is the neck tension? You spend, 1 minute. Okay, and then onto the shoulder, or 10 minutes, whatever it is. Just taking your awareness down through each body part all the way down. And whatever thoughts you're having, because you've got a busy mind, that's okay. Just let the busy mind be focused on yourself and talk and create this body speak, or this communication with your body, so that you can develop the vocabulary a little bit more, and you don't just brush it off. Oh, my knee hurts, who cares? Just keep going. It's like, oh, is that a message? Again, if you just fell down and slammed your knee into the floor, likely it's because of that. But again, we want to keep asking these questions. What is the message from the body? And then there's lots of different ways to heal the body once you know these things. So essential oils, I've talked about quite a bit, and drinking them and rubbing them on your body, and all of that can be really helpful. There's a lot of different formulas that are really good, that can soothe the central nervous system. And we need that right now. We're under a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety and tension, and maybe we're fortunate that you're a little more shielded from it, but it's going on. It's going on everywhere. And so we just need, we're aware of it. Metaphysically, we're picking up on the stress from our kids, our family members, our community, all of those things. And I did want to mention also about massage therapy, because it's such a wonderful healing tool. And you just lay down and relax, and someone loves on you. You get someone just to, touch your skin, can be so nice and nurturing. It feels so wonderful. So I like to mention that. So there's lots of different styles of massage. And of course, if you're really anxious and jazzed up and you get in there and you're on the table and then would be more of a shiatsu, or a more vigorous massage, and they're kneading you and really moving the legs, I guess it is shiatsu. I think there's another one as well, but it's like yoga with somebody, and they're stretching you and moving you, and you're on the floor, you're not on the table, and they're helping you to open your body and stretch in a way. And you're basically laying there, but they'll move your arm and they help you and they'll stretch your neck. So sometimes that too can be a really good way of massage therapy, and to help your body, just to love it more, just to tell it, I love you. It's okay. We're okay. And nerve maneuvering is also another great thing that is a very beneficial tool. And a lot of times we have aches in the body that is really the nerve. The nerve has now, because it's the size of a hair, or smaller. And so it can get dislodged. The tissue around it isn't circulating the blood, water, and oxygen properly. If you haven't exercised, there's a lot of reasons that we would have an ache or a pain. And so I like to mention nerve maneuvering because once you, like say with the hand or the elbow, that you're dealing with the nerve where it starts here. I mean, of course it starts at the spine, but it's coming down through the arm. And then you just gently, it's very gentle. I mean, again, you just probably fall asleep on the table with that massage therapist. And then little by little, the nerve gets the tissue, the circulation around the tissue that it needs, so that you then have more mobility. So if you've done the massage therapy and the chiropractic care and you still have these aches and pains, then I would recommend the nerve maneuvering. And I write about that in the book under the massage therapy section. Let me see if I can just flip through it real quick. Looks like it's over here on page 174. And but I did want to just circle back one more time with touch, like actually having your skin touched. And if you have a partner, maybe even just a hand massage or an arm massage, or foot massage if you dare. But sometimes that can be really grounding and very soothing. But if that's not your thing and you don't want to do that, there's lots of massage therapists. And you can still wear your clothes or, a t-shirt and shorts. You don't have to be naked for that stuff. But just getting the skin touched can be really nurturing and helpful. So I would recommend that to a lot of people, especially if you're single. And, that can really make a big difference in reducing some of the loneliness, although you don't have to be single to be lonely. And then the lymphatic massage, I'm going to end on that. We'll go into meditation here pretty soon, but lymphatic massage it's like real gentle, like you're just barely touching as you come in. It's not like the massage that you would normally do on the muscles, but you just barely touch. Well, the therapist is. And I've taught that a little bit. Like we have a lot of lymph glands here and under the armpit and down the side of the body. So just gently, and you could do it with me right now. So just find your collarbone here and then just gently, softly touching. So not like pressing in. Okay. So just gently touching right above the collarbone. And then you do that a few more times. How can you do it softer? And all you're doing is you're helping move that lymph gland, you're helping move the lymph. And then that fluid, lymph fluid, easy for me to mumble, it is transferring through the whole body, improving your immune system. But when it gets stuck in a certain area, then, it can lead to other kinds of diseases or illnesses. So sometimes that, like around the neck, you might find that you like get in there and massage because your neck hurts. And so you're massaging really, okay, that's fine. And then finish the massage with a very gentle, just coming down. And so you're moving, you're pushing and you're moving that fluid ever so slightly. It's just right under the skin. So that's something that is really important. And, with all the mask wearing, gosh, that's not helping your immune system. I know, a lot of companies are still requiring it, but you should limit how long you inhale your own exhale, God made you perfect, which was to exhale debris. You're exhaling stuff that you shouldn't be inhaling. The reason that we inhale is because we're exhaling. Like the reason that we breathe again is because the CO2 levels are getting so high and you have to exhale them. And then you take another breath. But if you just hold your breath, you're going to die because of the CO2 levels, right? It's not a lack of oxygen, it's an increase of CO2. So that carbon dioxide is not intended to be staying in your body. So please be really careful about that. Build your immune system. If you have to wear a mask, wear your mask and eat more vegetables. Yeah, make sure that you're drinking a lot of water and make sure you don't wear your mask for too many hours every day, or get a clean one every 3 hours. So you should have a clean one every 3 hours, should be a brand new one. So I hope that these things were helpful. And I didn't know if anybody had any questions before we go into meditation. You could just turn on your mic. If you don't want to turn on your video, that's fine. And I'm happy to answer any questions before we move on.
Keith,
Yes, yes.
Don and I have studied insanity quite a bit, and the best definition I got for insanity, you know, it's hereditary. Did you know that?
Yeah, I mean, for some people, I mean, it can be.
Yes, you get it from your kids.
Touche. Okay, that's funny.
Could
Yeah.
you hold the book up again that you were talking about? I know it was Laura, but I didn't write it down the way I meant to.
No, that's fine. It's Louise Hay, and the book is You Can Heal Your Life.
Okay.
Louise Hay. She has since passed, God bless her. And but she had her own publishing house called the Hay House Publishing Group. And they do a lot of books like this, and metaphysical books and spiritual books and things. Yeah. And there is just the, I don't know that they call it a dictionary, but they have just the little one, although the whole book is very enjoyable to read, and she has some beautiful poems in it.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay, good. Anybody else? Okay, well, let's go ahead. And if you want to dim the lights at your house, and let's go into meditation now. Okay. Good. So it's nice to have a little bit of time to talk about new ideas. And now what we want to do is just relax and let those ideas sink in. So spend a few minutes getting comfortable in your chair. Sometimes if you extend your feet on the floor, but ahead or in front of your knees, that can be really helpful in relaxing the hamstring a little bit more. If you're in a recliner, you likely will fall asleep. So it's better for you to sit upright in your recliner and not like really lay back and snore on me. So as you close your eyes, just relax the face, relax your facial muscles. As you feel yourself letting go, just notice the back body relaxing and melting into the chair beneath you. And now's a good time to just adjust anything that you need to feel really relaxed. One hand to either leg, each leg, so you're not touching your hands. And that just leads to fidgeting. So don't touch your hands, and palms down to ground or up to receive. Notice the rise and fall of your lungs. Slow down your mind to the rhythm of your heart. Intend that your heart beats slow and steady. Slow and steady. As you relax through the body, just know that you are naturally reducing symptoms of every disease. You're naturally improving your health just by relaxing. Your body is naturally producing dopamine and serotonin right now. So feel the rise and fall of your lungs. And let's move the awareness into the abdomen, into the stomach and intestine, into the abdomen. Just check in with your body. How does the abdomen, how does the stomach feel? And continue to relax just a little more. We want to develop the communication with the body. We want to increase the vocabulary of this communication with your body, which will come in the form of feelings and notions or an idea. As you relax down, just offer a moment of gratitude to your abdomen, to the intestines and stomach for all the digestion that they do for us. Offer a blessing or feeling of gratitude for the body functioning behind the scenes of your conscious mind. And as you relax, you become more comfortable in your own skin, becoming more and more relaxed and more comfortable in your own skin. That's right. Feels so good. Just letting go. And as you check in with your body, just see if there's any particular ache or pain or concern. Maybe it's a shoulder or an elbow. It might be a knee. Just check in with a certain part of your body that's been a concern for a while, and we all have one or two. And as you relax, connect to this part of your body. Let's say it's the shoulder, and imagine having a nose right on the edge of the shoulder there. So you're breathing that oxygen and vitality right into that part. So you're not going through the nose and the lungs to that area. Just imagine mana, imagine energy and vitality flowing directly into that area. And imagine that there's a mouth, a nose and a mouth. And see if you can allow that part of your body to talk to you, to give you some guidance. And the communication might come in the form of an image or an aroma or a memory. What is the message? What do you need to know about that injury or illness or disease? Just imagine putting that nose and mouth right there on that part of your body so that it can receive all of the oxygen and vitality that it needs, and then also communicate back to you the message. Feel yourself relaxing down as you open up your mind and your heart to this style of communicating with yourself. Just relax and settle down, not trying to figure it out with your beta brain, just relaxing down and allowing the message to come to you in another way, through an image or a feeling. And as you continue to melt into the chair beneath you, you feel your feet grounded on the earth. And you feel the body releasing any tension or stress out your feet and back into the earth to recycle. Just recycling that energy. The earth knows how to use that stress in a positive way. With each breath, just continue to listen to your body. Encourage your body to share a message with you right now. Continue to relax through your shoulders, arms, down to your hands, and relax the upper body and the core of your body, relaxing the back. Relax your legs. And as you're listening for a message from your body, just keep that loving, open heart, that compassionate vibration toward yourself, toward this injury or illness or disease. There is a message that your body wants to give to you. And whether you receive it today or another day, just asking for it, the message will be delivered. Relax just a little more. And now, in this state of peace, imagine that you're surrounded in a sphere of golden white light. Just see this radiant light all around you. And now see a beautiful indigo blue, beautiful blue, purple color, indigo, all around you. See yourself inside a sphere of indigo blue, like the sixth center. And feel safe and loved. Silently affirm, I am safe. I am lovable. And notice your body relax even more. Just letting go. Soon we're going to come back. Be sure to bookmark this place of peace and wisdom that is inside you. And revisit to this place of wisdom at any time, just by becoming aware of the quality of your breath. Gently now, gently coming back, never startling yourself after meditation. Softly begin to sway or move your spine a little bit and the neck. You could wiggle your fingers and toes, just stretching. Ah, feels so good. Back. Nice. Good. Just take a deep breath, inhaling. As you do, you can softly begin to open your eyes, just coming back. And I hope that was beneficial for you. And I hope that you will join me for chair yoga on Tuesdays at 10. And I'll look forward to seeing you on another day. God bless you. Namaste.